You know you can talk, right? It's gonna be fucking edited anyways.
Yeah, it's going.
Okay. So it has been 2015's probably the first time I smoked weed, and I want to say 2018. I've been pretty consistent, so I don't know math, but what is that? 4 years. So today's the first day where I don't have any weed in the house in a long time. I've taken breaks here and there, but today's the first day where I actually don't have anything and I can't smoke. And today's been okay. I've been thinking about it all day today, and it's been on my mind, but I don't have the urge. I don't even know. It's weird. Whenever I think of my relationship with weed, um, it's never been like I need to smoke, I gotta smoke, because people may say that they may need it for anxiety or depression. I'd say for the most part I've dealt with those things pretty well. I think for me it was more the sense of whenever I did it, I felt I used it as a coping mechanism more than anything. So honestly, it's gonna be a weird adventure, uh, going on here on out. What really motivates me to do this is really just the people around me, and I also want to better myself and see what kind of person I've been, or I will be, because it's been a while since I've not smoked. Like, it's basically been part of my identity for the past whatever number, math, you know. It's been a long time where I haven't smoked for more than like 42 hours at a time. Like, I may tell myself I'm gonna take a tolerance break, and then 36 hours later I'm fucking smoking again. So I think this time this is for good, you know. I'm happy with that.
Unfortunately, this is take number two. Take number one, the audio was desynced whenever I started editing. So this is going to be a little bit more structured than the first one. First one, I just sat here and rambled for like 10 minutes. I just watched the video that you just watched. I guess I can just talk about how I feel now. I feel great. Do I feel like I'm a different person than I was before? I'd say so. I still am me, but it's more the sense where in that video I talked about how my identity was weed. I think now I am more myself in the sense that I have hobbies, I have interests. That before, I'd say my routine after work was smoke, video games, maybe cook. I'd say I was pretty consistent with cooking and going to the gym, but it was just like the same. I didn't have any like real interests. Like, I think now I'm more comfortable with who I am. It's a better way to say it. I like making videos how I always have been. People that may be returning to this channel after it's been a ghost town for so long know the original name, which is still there. Natives Gaming is still there somewhere. I just changed it to Nevex, which is my initials with an X at the end. So I want to say now I am more comfortable. I mean, I think immediately after I stopped smoking, the first thing I did was skate. I started picking up skateboarding. I went to the gym a lot more frequently, got into the gym a lot more because the main thing that I needed to do was create some sort of habits or some sort of activities to do that wasn't just, go on the balcony, smoke, sit in my room, open the window, smoke, play video games, rinse and repeat, because that's literally what I did for quite some time, to the detriment of living with my brother. I believe him seeing that was lessening what he may think of me, if that makes sense. I had many conversations with him about substance abuse. If I have a problem, do I think I have a problem? Because that's the thing, right? Whenever I watch that video, I hear myself say I use it as a coping mechanism. That's cap. That's just full on cap. I think what I did was I used it. I'm not saying coping mechanism is wrong, but I do think I was depressed in a way. Maybe not like severe depression, but I was depressed in a way where I allowed it to mask and make me not worry about things that I knew I needed to do, or maybe things that I wanted to do. I went to school for software development and got an associate's degree in it, right? So after I graduated, one thing that I always told myself I needed to do was like keep practicing, keep doing this, because obviously the associate's degree, a piece of paper with my name on it, but it wasn't gonna land me a job in software development, right? And even myself, I knew that I wasn't adequate enough in coding to even do shit. So I knew I needed to continue and build my own skills. So instead of doing that, I smoked, and I was like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow and keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. Because even how I was in college, once I started smoking, like, I was very negligent of a lot of things. And I kind of felt like I dragged myself across the finish line, which, you know, I did finish great, but I knew I could have did better going to a technical school. It just felt like what was presented, I could have knocked it out the park. You know, 3.5 or higher is what my expectations was. And like I said, I barely dragged myself across the line. So when I hear myself saying I use it as a coping mechanism, yeah, but there were so many different things, right? There's so many different things. Now looking back at it, I look at that and I'm like, you're full of shit, dude. You don't even know, man. You don't even fucking know. So now I have more respect for myself, to be honest. There was one clear memory of I was sitting washing dishes with my girlfriend, and I was singing a song by Big Crit. I can't remember the song exactly, and I just started crying, man. Like not like no, like full on, like I was in the fetal position on the ground crying. I don't know what happened. I guess, you know, I started to realize that I used weed as a really fucking big crutch. A wheelchair even. Like, it did a lot of heavy lifting for me. I appreciate now was having a therapist, because she mentioned something where, you know, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting that you don't even realize it's doing. And you have to sit with yourself. And that in itself is very difficult for a lot of people that have some sort of substance abuse. Everything's great in moderation. This was the biggest life lesson for that. I still hold some weird relationship with weed where I don't think it's terrible. I just lost my way. I would say I haven't even been sober this entire year. I think I've been breaking the habit, to be honest. I smoked on my birthday, July 27th, three months ago. I think we did gummies around March or February, and a little bit of Delta 9 or 10, whatever the fuck it's called, the great value weed that they sell at the stores for illegal states, like December or some shit. So I wouldn't even say that I've been, like, you know, it's been a year and I haven't touched weed since then. It's not even that, right? I'm just breaking a habit that I formed over 4 or 5 years. Because one thing in that video, I've never been sober. I think I was first introduced to weed 15 years old. And then I started doing, like, buying my own and all that shit, like 18, 19. And then ever since then, it's become a part of me. And I've never been able to be an adult and be Nate or be Nathaniel, which that's a crazy fucking sentence when I think about it, right? Like, battling your own thoughts and all that shit without essentially having a huge, like, suppressor or a huge broom to just sweep it underneath the rug. To me, that's what weed is. You have a problem and you smoke weed and it's like, let's not worry about this problem right now, bro. Let's just enjoy what we have here, which isn't a bad thing, but used every fucking day, it's terrible. And used to the point where you start being irresponsible, it's not good. I still go to therapy. I go to therapy every month. Now, I used to go every 2 weeks, and I did that for 12 visits, maybe 10. And the thing about me is I can talk a lot. So whenever it came to talking to that therapist, I was a machine gun, right? But my therapist, I love my therapist. So it's one of the things where I was lucky, and the first therapist I went to fit the bill perfectly. She allows me to talk about whatever I want, whether it is the topic at hand or just whatever's on my mind that day. She doesn't, force me to be tunneled into, all right, let's talk about weed though. Let's not worry about all this other bullshit, because that would be fucking bad, right? Yeah, I think my family was a big part of this. Girlfriend also. Surrounding yourself with people that aren't in whatever that is. Like, let's say you have, you know, in my case, let's say I have a bunch of pothead friends that wouldn't understand, and they'd be like, man, I don't know why you're stopping, just cut back, you know, and they try to rationalize it without just being, all right, man, hey, this is what you want to do, cool. And they support me in the sense where if I were to hang out with them, they wouldn't, hey man, you want to smoke? Because I feel like that's a bad friend in that sense, because they know you're trying to change your life. Maybe there's some boundaries that don't need to be crossed there, right? So I think I rambled on for quite a bit. I told you, man, I could fucking talk. But yeah, man, I'm doing great. And seeing that video from last year, it wasn't easy. It still isn't easy. I just feel like I broke the habit.